it's your boy, Mumpy, how you feeling? All I really wanna do is keep with you, but you keep.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Mop Music Gaming, and today I'm coming at you guys with another video from another YouTuber named Eric Rayweather. His link will be in the description below. He's basically listening to the stream of the creators of Madden talk about the new features in Madden 20. So if you're excited, just like I'm excited, hey man, let's get straight to this video.
What's going on, everybody? It's Eric Rayweather back here with some brand new Madden 20 news. So EA just dropped all the official news about the new Superstar and X Factor abilities coming to Madden 20. This is the biggest change for gameplay, as it's going to make the elite players feel elite and play how they play in real life and have special abilities that are unique to their skill set in real life. Now, they also released some more information, some actually, some gameplay related stuff, some things with tuning of animations and giving QB signature throwing styles and animations. Running backs have signature running animations. I'm going to dive into that stuff tomorrow because I feel like that's an important topic that deserves its separate video. So make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell if you're interested in that. I will drop that tomorrow, but tonight we're just going to talk about the abilities. I'm going to cover the important info from the blog really quickly, and then I'm going to cut to a clip that I chopped up of the stream where they go into more depth, better than I can and better than the blog does. So we're going to just do both of those. So let's kick it off. It says the story of each game in Madden NFL will be told by 50 of the NFL's most elite athletes who will be featured in the game as X Factors. These players frequently take their teams to elite levels by raising their game when it matters most, especially when they get in what's called the zone. When these superstars are in the zone, they become X Factors and they have the biggest impact on the game. We are encapsulating what makes these players so rare and so powerful with the Superstar X Factor abilities. Each of the 50 players will have a load set of possible abilities, including one zone ability that can be unlocked during gameplay by completing an in-game objective tailored to that player. When the objective is achieved, they will enter the zone and have access to a special ability until their opponent knocks them out of the zone with an objective of their own. These players also have several superstar abilities equipped, which will be active at all times during gameplay to truly emphasize their unique skill sets and make them powerful and hard to stop, just like their real-life counterparts. It says for both zone abilities and superstar abilities, what sets them apart is that they are not a ratings boost or modification. These are behaviors, characteristics, and situational outcomes, aspects of football, and will be very clear to our players what impact they have by complementing the player ratings, not modifying them. So here they're going to give some examples, but I'm going to actually kind of save some of this for the stream clip. So basically, for a quick example, it says like Julian Edelman has a slot-o-matic ability, which means he's going to excel at route running and contested catches when running routes from the slot. But if you want to counter this, there are certain defenders that have what's called a zoned out or a man-up knockout ability that counters that slot ability. So if you have those two guys matched up together, then at that point it becomes kind of a 50-50 flip on who wins that down, knowing that both players are so elite that either player has an equal chance of success when they're matched up. But as a user, you can also counter anything as a user. So any of these crazy abilities, if you are a good user, you click on and you go for the hit, you click on and go for the time the interception right, jump the route, you can negate everything by also being a good user. So you have the user counter and you also have the matchup counter, with just like real life. If you have the right kind of cornerback matched up on a Julian Edelman, he can neutralize him better. But if you have a guy that's not so good, Julian Edelman is going to eat him up on those short routes where he's best. But if you line him up on the outside, he's not going to be as good there because that's not what he excels at in real life. Here they mentioned some other abilities in terms of like pass lead elite. It says extend precision passing on all throws except for high and low throws. They have a pocket deadeye, perfect passing accuracy when passing with QB's feet set from inside the pocket. They have a matchup nightmare. It says gets open and wins contested catches when covered by a single linebacker or defensive lineman. So somebody like Travis Kelce could be considered a matchup nightmare for a linebacker. He's going to get more open unless you have one of those elite coverage linebackers that can kind of neutralize him. Here they have an edge rush elite ability. You will frequently use dominant pass rush moves when rushing from an edge position. So Von Miller, Khalil Mack, DeMarcus Lawrence, these really good edge rushers will have better pass rush moves when rushing from the edge. But what's going to neutralize them is going to be some type of, blocking ability that elite left tackles and right tackles would have. So the very key here that I've picked up on all this is there is a counter to everything. And the goal is to make these players feel elite. So examples that they gave was like, certain QBs can throw on the run. But in Madden, how we have it now, you can have Michael Vick who can throw good on the run. He can throw cross body, which they also mentioned has kind of been fixed now. He can throw accuracy from the pocket, but now every ability that these players have is going to be tailored to their real life self. So if you want to be a scrambler, yes, you can go get a Lamar Jackson, but he's not going to be as accurate. Whereas if you are more of a pocket passer, Brady and Breeze are going to be way more accurate from the pocket than, say some of these other types of quarterbacks. So you have to really pick the type of players and teams that fit how you want to play. Some of these people are going to be able to unlock other abilities that just other people flat out will not be able to do. Now, I am going to cut to the stream really quickly, and then I will meet you back here to kind of finish up the video. I'm going to let them kind of explain more in depth some of these abilities and counters and things of that nature.
First off, he has Bazooka. So we talked about that earlier in the broadcast.
Yep.
Let's go and reiterate again exactly what does Bazooka do and kind of what are the things that get him in the zone and out of the zone.
Yep, like we said earlier, Bazooka is going to allow him to throw an 80-yard pass by increasing his max pass distance. So you're going to be able to unlock that via an in-game objective. And that objective might look something like 4 or 5 completed passes for 30 or more yards on each completion. The defense can knock you out of the zone by getting a sack, a fumble, or an interception. One thing I want to note about Bazooka is initially, just like many of us internally, there's probably some like, whoa, 80-yard pass, that sounds weird. It's situational again, right? In order to get an 80-yard pass, you need to be inside your own 25. You need to get time to throw the pass. You're going to need a receiver that's going to be able to get that deep before you get sacked. The teaser, pass rush may not facilitate you getting that pass off a lot. So you're going to want to use these things strategically, and they're meant to change the way that you play both offense and defense.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, I think there's a lot of feedback that we heard from folks. At the end of the day, it's not something that you're always going to get. You got to be very tactical in how you're using these zone abilities.
Yes.
And it's something that you really have to scheme and plan against. So let's go ahead and take a quick look as well at Patrick Mahomes' superstar abilities. We see he also has. Give me 1 second here.
Dashing Deadeye.
I
gotcha, man. Okay, so yeah, one of his superstar abilities, which is going to be available to him in every game that he plays in, is Dashing Deadeye, and that is perfect pass accuracy when on the run. The counter to this is obviously putting pressure on him. So you're going to see a theme once you start to read more about our abilities. A lot of the passing abilities are known as some form of Deadeye. And the counter to those Deadeye abilities is putting pressure on the quarterback. So that adds value to the abilities that allow defenders to put extra pressure on the quarterback. I also already mentioned QB Contain. And then there's some edge rush abilities that I think are going to be pretty popular in keeping players in the pocket. But perfect passing accuracy on the run is just like what it says. We have different levels of accuracy in our game in terms of throwing a pass. And so when you're throwing on the run with Patrick Mahomes, which is something that he really excels at
for sure
in real life, he's going to have an extra level of accuracy that nobody else has in that situation.
In the spirit of, Dashing Deadeye, I also know he has like a red zone Deadeye and a no-look Deadeye. Can we talk about both of those superstar abilities?
Yep, we'll go through these real quick. So red zone Deadeye, very similar to the other one. It's perfect pass accuracy when you're inside the red zone. Same counters as Dashing Deadeye. When you're inside the 20-yard line going in, you don't have to worry about throwing inaccurate passes as long as you are not throwing from an under pressure state. And you can do that both while on the run or inside the pocket. And then no look Deadeye. This one truly right now is exclusive to Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be the only player in the game that can throw perfect passing accuracy on cross-body throws. Now, I know our community is going to hear that, and they're going to raise a little bit of an eyebrow, especially coming off of a very high-level Mike Vick year
for sure.
Inside of Ultimate Team. So we also reworked how our passing accuracy works in game, and it's extremely difficult to complete a pass when throwing those on-the-run cross-body throws. Yeah. You're going to get a lot more inaccurates in that case and other things that we're going to talk about at a later time. But this ability is going to allow him to do that.
Awesome.
Also exclusive to Patrick Mahomes, when you're making cross-body throws, you are going to be able to trigger his signature no-look animation on that throw. And that is going to be only for Patrick Mahomes. So the ability will be able to be used by other players inside a franchise and Ultimate Team, but Patrick Mahomes specifically will have the ability to do a no-look.
I've heard a few things thrown around the office. I've heard some other names thrown out there, so I'll name some real quick for you, and you can kind of talk a little bit about what they are, what kind of gets the player in the zone and what you can do to get them out of the zone. I heard like Rack 'em Up is one of those flying around here in the office.
Yeah, Rack 'em Up is the zone ability for Rack Catch, essentially Rack Catch Specialist. This player is going to excel at using the Rack Catch mechanic And when he's making rack catches, if he's single covered while in the zone, he is going to be very successful at catching contested catches and hanging on first hits when using rack catch. And again, that's something that player is going to have to earn via in-game objectives, make a certain number of catches for a certain amount of yardage, and also be able to get knocked out by the defense. Either, you could go for a user interception if you want to lurk, or you can do a catch tackle knockout, knock the ball out, cause a drop or an incompletion. That's another way to knock that guy out of the zone.
Got it. Another one that I heard was first one free.
First one free. Yeah, that's a running back zone ability. So if you get a set amount of rushes for a good amount of yards, let's, for example, say you're going to need 4 rushes for 45 yards to get in the zone or something like that, then your next attempt at a juke spin or hezi move is going to give you a very high chance of a fake out. Again, same thing. First one free can be knocked out if you tackle that ball carrier for a loss of yards or cause a fumble via hit stick. He will lose his zone ability and then have to re-earn that over the course of the game or the next year. Before we get into the details, I want to make clear the difference between superstar abilities and zone abilities. So like I said, zone abilities are something you have to earn with an in-game objective, and those objectives are going to be dynamic based on the game style you're playing on. So they're going to be harder on competitive than they are arcade. Superstar abilities are always available and going to be used situationally. So now we can jump into fast break. Escape artist. We'll cover fast break in a second. So escape artist is the scramble ability used on mobile quarterbacks. And this is going to give those players elite speed and agility when scrambling on passing plays behind the line of scrimmage. These things are going to be there the entire game. You don't have to earn them and you can't knock them out of that, but there are going to be counters built in. Another gameplay teaser, so we did a lot of work on QB contain, and that is the counter to this ability. So if you want to keep this really fast guy in the pocket, like Lamar Jackson, you're going to want to use your QB contains, you're going to want to use your QB spies, and there's also going to be an increased risk of fumbling with these scrambling quarterbacks.
Got it. Okay. Fast break. I know you talked about that just recently. Before we went ahead and talked about escape artists. What's going on with fast break?
Yeah, fast break is pretty cool as well. It's the running version of escape artist. So on designed quarterback run plays, and that's important because, like I said, these are situational. So you're going to need a playbook that supports the type of players you have on your team.
Okay.
On designed quarterback run plays, the fast break ability is going to give the quarterback immediate ball carrier control, meaning the second that you receive the snap, you can go any direction you want. You're not going to be locked into the direction of the play. You can run left, right, outside, inside. And because of that ability, that's going to give a delay in the read and react time of the defense. So it's going to allow you a little bit more time to decide which lane you want to run through. And again, the same type of counters are there. You're going to have a higher risk of fumble. You're going to also drain your stamina while doing these things.
So last but not least, superstar ability. Let's talk about enforcer, and then we'll go ahead and give people an example of our cover athlete, like what's going on with his zone abilities and his superstar abilities.
Enforcer is another cool ability. It's a defensive ability, and very simply will not allow broken hit sticks. So when you're using this player, regardless of the size or speed of the player that he's hit sticking, guy Bobby Wagner has this, Harrison Smith from the Vikings. Currently, again, all fluid, not set in stone, but when you hit stick with this player, he's not going to allow broken hit stick tackles.
Got it. So at the end of the day, just run for my life.
Yeah. Avoid this player.
Yeah.
So Scan's standing in the background right now. He wants me to mention something, so I'll mention for him. Another teaser for gameplay. We're doing gameplay here in a couple weeks, but we've also reworked how hit sticks work. So there's more broken hit sticks globally. We're really focusing on the ratings matchup and the weight and the momentum of the players in hit sticks, which is going to make abilities like this more valuable. So you're going to want the enforcer if you're a big hit stick player. Otherwise, you do risk having more broken hit sticks.
Okay, so now that you have a good idea of how all of this works, let me just finish up some of the stuff from the blog here. It says superstars and franchise mode, the abilities will be tied to the development traits. So if you have a superstar X Factor development trait, you can get zone abilities and regular superstar abilities. If you have a superstar development trait, you can get just the superstar abilities. And if you have a normal or star development trait, you get no abilities. But it also says at the end of each season, top performers can increase their development trait to unlock these abilities. So if you get kind of like a low, drafted 7th round guy, but he just has a breakout season, he can potentially unlock these superstar abilities going into next year. In terms of Ultimate Team, it says the chemistry abilities have been replaced with superstar abilities, which we kind of thought would happen. So think of like things like Playmaker, Gunslinger, Under Pressure. That's going to all be replaced by the new abilities. Some of them will probably be the same or similar, but there's going to be a bunch more that you can add and upgrade, you know, your players with. So that's how it's going to affect Ultimate Team. And then it also says that they, you know, with these abilities to make players play like themselves, you know, they want them to feel like themselves, and that's where the animations come in. Certain QBs will have signature throwing, passing animations, running backs, running animations, and things like that. But I'll get more in depth in tomorrow's video because that's kind of a whole separate topic. Now, it also says that before the game, there's going to be like some immersive type things that, you know, in the pre-game that's going to let you know like who is on the other team, who's on your team, what abilities they have, so you kind of know what you're dealing with pre-game. You're not just going in blind. You know, like, okay, he has Von Miller on his team, or he has so-and-so. I know what I have to do to neutralize him. You're not just have to go look at the roster and figure it out for yourself. Now, in terms of how I feel about this, I remain the same as when I talked about this last week. If implemented right, if done right, that is the big if with EA. I think this could be amazing for the game if done right, if they truly cleaned up the gameplay, if this is balanced. I'm sure there'll be some aspects that could be overpowered. It is a game, but I think if it's done mostly right, if it plays out how it's supposed to, this is needed in the game. Guys like Julian Edelman don't matter in the game right now. Guys like Drew Brees don't matter in the game right now. Everybody that is an elite player needs to matter, and this could hopefully change up this, you know, the strategy of the game, how different players play, which is, you know, something they mentioned in the stream. If you want to throw deep crossing routes all game, you know, but your opponent has one of these like fear-monger type pass rushers, you're not going to always have time for those routes to develop. You have to throw quicker passes. That changes how people play the game, and that is needed. So that's my thoughts on it. Let me know how you feel below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I actually enjoyed the video about the new features in the game. I'm actually excited about it. If you guys are excited just like I am, comment below of what you're excited about and what you just like about the new features. Personally, I just want to be able to strategize like they do in the NFL. You know, I want to be able to go out there with a game plan and be able to execute that game plan. So hopefully, whatever they're talking about, I want to be able to do that on the field because I'm tired of people using the exploit bug and just think that they're good. But thank you guys for watching. Follow me on all my social media.